Hi, my name is Bill Brokaw, and I'm an environmental portrait photographer. So we're going to do a little behind-the-scenes video of an actual shot. We're going to be photographing an artist in his studio, and I wanted to first just kind of show the type of equipment that I bring. Environmental portraiture is kind of a casual sort of portraiture, but at the same time, from the photographer's point of view, it has to be very technically oriented and very precise and well done. You got to have enough equipment to get the job done, but not so much that you're intimidating the subject and making them feel uncomfortable. So this is kind of my basic array. What I'll bring with me, I may not use everything, but I like to have it so that if I do need it, I can set it up. Sometimes I'll start simple and then add to it depending on the conditions that I'm under and whether or not the person I'm working with is comfortable with me taking their picture. Sometimes they're not, sometimes they are. So naturally, a DSLR, I like to use a 24-70 lens, so that's pretty much a workout horse. An extra battery. I'll bring a backup camera. I won't bring it inside with me, but if one camera goes down, you don't want to look like an idiot. I use radio-controlled speed lights. These are Canon, so that's nice. No cords. I can fire them from each other. A couple of different types of light modifiers, and I put Velcro all over them, so I can put my light modifiers on wherever I want to. So I have a bounce card. I can put it on the side, and I also have a LumaQuest. Same idea. Put it right through there so that you can use it directly or indirectly. I call these domes. Soften light, sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't. So you can put those right on the top, and you could actually use those in conjunction with the light card. So it gives you some versatility. I'll bring some filters with me. These are warming filters if we're shooting under tungsten. I like to use my speed lights to kind of accent my subject and kind of get the best light. If I use a filter on the front of it, and it's easy enough just to bring the wide angle, stick your filter under there, quick and easy to get a filter in there, and then this will warm up my flash so it'll balance out with the tungsten lights. If you're under fluorescence, you need a slightly different filter pack. These are my light stands, actually a tripod. So what I found that light stands, especially if you're out in the woods or in uneven terrain, a typical light stand or even a C-stand is not going to cut it. They're too bulky, they're uneven, they're designed for flat surfaces. So take a tripod and a monopod. I flip the monopod over and I put a flash bracket where the foot would normally go. Stick that right on there. So now my flash can mount right to my monopod. Right. And then I just turn it upside down. And with an adapter, so I have a 3/8 screw on the bottom and a 1/4 screw on it. So I have a female to female. And that screws right on there, and now I have instant light stand. We'll pop this off. Small, concise, easy to put together. Really versatile. Usually I bring two in case I need them. And then of course tripod. I may or may not use a tripod when you're in the condition and you're shooting. It's better to do handheld if you can. And again, everything depends on how the customer feels or the client's feeling. And then a good quick release. And I use Really Right Stuff ball head. And they are bulletproof. You can take your picture. So that's everything. Keep it simple. Everything goes in 2 cases. So all I have to do is just throw this on my shoulder, carry that on my So here's everything nicely packed away. And just enough. So we're at Jerry's studio, and it's always, a big part of getting a good environmental portrait is making the person feel comfortable. So, I can have all the great equipment in the world and get a great exposed shot, but if the person doesn't feel relaxed, you're going to be able to tell. You're going to be able to see it. So ideally, you get people start to talk about what they love. They forget about me. That's what I want to do. Forget about me. Just kind of tell me about what you're all about. And then as we kind of ease into it, hopefully, I'll be able to get the shots without distracting them too much.
Hey, Bill.
Oh, Jerry,
how you
hi.
doing? Welcome. See you.
Nice to see you. Hey, this is nice. Is that a quarry?
It is a stone quarry back there.
Did they use that to build this house?
This house, yeah. They were quarried all the stone out of there for this house and a lot of the buildings in Philadelphia and New York.
All right. You go swimming in there?
No. It's very deep and very dirty.
So show me your studio.
Action.
So this is the where all the magic happens.
Great. So you got that Western light.
This is actually sort of southwestern. They consider this to be the southwest parlor.
So how long have you been shooting? I mean, not shooting, painting. Your whole life?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I started when I was 10 years old, and I studied with a private instructor, and then took high school art, and then went to college for art.
Really?
And buy a small painting. And sometimes people that are just starting out that can't afford larger paintings will go with the smaller one if they still want to buy an original. So I think as a businessman, an entrepreneur in this market, whether it's art or anything, you have to cover all your bases. And that's what I do with all the different price points. As I said before, I work on many paintings at the same time. So I don't keep track of hours or what it takes, but at the end of the month I might have 8 paintings done. But I do have an idea that larger ones obviously take more than smaller ones to do. But some paintings just don't go as well.
It's a process.
It's a process,
Yeah.
and the thing that's bad about oils is that you can go back to them at any time, even years later, and fix them or put something else or paint something out.
Makes sense.
Well, we get our water here from Lambertville, and our water is always expensive because it has to come up the river from Lambertville. And it goes from studio to studio. A lot of them are sculptors, a lot of them are painters, some of them have their own studios that people can come in, but not everybody has the access that a lot of them do.
What time of year is that?
It starts right after Thanksgiving. The day it's Black Friday through Sunday. It's just 3 days.
Not like that, where they're kind of part of, like you are. I mean, that's different. I mean, you're like part of the culture instead of just a guy, in his room painting. I think that's cool.
Well, I think some artists are just not accessible. They are more introverted into what they're doing, but I don't know. I think it helps understanding the artwork by.
So I wanted to just kind of go over a little bit about how the shoot went. Before, when we were in the studio, you saw everything that I brought, but what's great about Jerry's studio is there's already a lot of light. So I was able to use a pretty high shutter speed, and so I didn't have to worry about putting on a tripod. I could hand hold it. A lot of light coming in through the window, so that made for some great backlighting. A lot of elements. We got the paintbrushes. Jerry's working on a painting, so I was able to get these different things. So pretty much all I needed was one flash. I used the direct flash in some of the photos. What I noticed too is that when I used the flash without the filter, it wasn't warm enough. So I would pop in the filter occasionally, kind of get that in there. And then sometimes I was using a flash on the camera too to get some fill. So I was able to experiment with actually using 3 light sources, the backlight and ambient light, plus an off-camera flash, plus an on-camera flash. And then there was times when I didn't want direct light, and we have white walls. You can show the white walls. So the white walls are like a great umbrella. Just turn that around, point the camera or point the flash right at the wall, and I've got great ambient light, which then tends to spread out quite a bit, and you don't necessarily get the tight stuff. But I also wanted to kind of ask Jerry, what it's like to be a victim. And have to like sit there and put up with some stranger walking into your studio and chattering away, trying to get pictures of you without you knowing that he's taking pictures of you.
Okay, so this is the follow-up to the photographic session with commentary. It's always difficult to do anything where you're being photographed yourself. It's like writing an artist statement. It's like doing anything that you do for yourself. It's difficult. As I said, I think some of the photographers that I've had photograph me got their best shots as they were leaving the studio out the door, standing in the doorway. We talked about somebody that was outside and shooting across the field with a long lens, so I had no idea what he was doing. And when you're in a conversation with somebody, we didn't have questions that were predetermined what we were going to talk about. It was a casual thing. That's a difficult thing, just sort of when you know you're being photographed. So getting that person comfortable is a key thing to get a good photograph. And I don't know how you do that. It's never easy. Never is.